Hi and welcome back. In this video, you'll learn the ins and outs of pulling, scheduling, and saving reports from the common reporting platforms that we use. Let's start with DFP. Once in DFP, we have several options for reporting. The main two that we use are through this Reports tab to pull larger reports in the system as a whole, and you're also able to pull a report within a campaign. First, we'll go into a campaign. Any campaign that's currently live. It doesn't have to be live. You can pull a report whether it's live or completed. So what we'll want to do to get into a campaign and pull a report, we'll go into this delivery tab. And then that way you can type in the campaign that you're looking to pull a report for. So here we'll type in Pop-Tarts, one of my Kellogg's campaigns. So you'll type in Pop-Tarts, you'll see the right campaign pull up. You'll click that button and it will bring you into your Pop-Tarts campaign. From here, we'll want to go into the export order button and you can choose either Excel version. I just always choose the newest. So once you do that, it's going to export for you. You'll open your report. And first thing what I like to do is expand all of the tabs. So that way you can see all the fields that default into this report. So we'll click that button, double click here. And now you can see all the fields that are defaulted into this report. A lot of times the main ones that you're going to be looking at are the line items, which are here, the start time and end date for each line item, which is important. You know, sometimes you'll have monthly goal campaigns, so they'll be broken out into monthly line items. You may have different flights within a campaign, so maybe that a flight hasn't ran yet, so you're not going to want to look at that data yet. Once you become more familiar with your campaigns, you'll know exactly really what kind of data you're going to be looking at. Another important thing could be like the goal quantity, which is just the goal impression amount that you have to deliver per line item. You can also see how many impressions have served campaign to date. You could see the clicks that have been counted for campaign to date. So that's really how you look and pull a report in a campaign within DFP. Now, the other main reporting that we use in DFP will be in this reports tab. We'll keep it consistent with Pop-Tarts. So you'll want to click on this new report button. You'll see different report types. So there's 3 different ones. Actually, there's a few more than that, but we really, only use these 3. And honestly, we really just stick with the historical. The future sell-through and the reach is sometimes used, but not used very much. So we'll stay with historical. Then next, you'll want to choose your date range. And this is really important that we select the correct date range, that you're looking at the right data. It always defaults to yesterday. So just go into edit. You can always change this. Dynamic gives you different frequencies that you could choose from. Here you could change this to month, quarter, year, week to date. Here you could choose the actual specific date range as well, which I do like to do. But to keep things easy, we'll stick with the dynamic and we'll do last quarter. That way we'll give ourselves enough data to look at. You'll apply that. Next, you'll want to make sure you apply the correct filters if you need. So here, the main filter that we use is order, which is campaign name. So as I mentioned, we'll do Pop-Tarts. Please note also when we use this report in DFP under the reports tab, a lot of times, we could be pulling for larger volume campaigns. If it's like a larger time frame that you're looking for, it could be multiple campaigns. Really anything that you want to see, you have the options of doing so in here. So just want to make sure that's clear. So we'll choose Pop-Tarts. So I'll type that in, I'll select the right campaign. Again, you can type in multiple campaigns if you wanted to. So if you wanted to view all the Kellogg's campaigns, you could do that as well. So one of them would be also Raisin Bran. You could select that. But we'll stick to this one. Now we can start adding in our different dimensions and metrics. So to begin, we'll start with adding in line item because we'll definitely want to use that. If you wanted to select specific things within the line item, you're able to do so, but I like to keep it all. The next thing that we'll want to look at is ad unit. And ad unit shows us the different publishers and sites that we're running on. And then since we'll have our line item selected, you can view it by line item. So this is definitely important if you want to optimize by CTR. to see how each line item is performing against each of those sites and publishers. So if you need to, you can remove the different sites, or however you want to optimize. It's up to you. The next thing, if you want to get more granular, you could select date in here, so that way you can see specifically that date, or you're able to just view it as an aggregate. So really how you want to view it and what you're specifically looking for. So once you have the right dimensions chosen, you'll want to come down to the metrics. Since we're on the topic of CTR, we'll definitely want to include our total impressions and our total clicks. And then, you can choose whatever else you want here, but we're just going to stay with those two things for now. And then we'll run the query. Just to note, you can't schedule a query report. You could just save it. You want to make sure that's clear as well. A couple things here before you want to export this report that you just pulled. You're always able to edit it right here. So if you want to add more campaigns to this, you're able to. If you need to change the date, range, you can do so here. There's the different columns and filters that you can edit. So you're able to do all that and rerun the report if you need to. But if you have everything you need and you're ready to export your report, you'll come into this export button, and you can choose, to include the headers, include the IDs, or not. If you want to just see specifically what you're looking for, this might keep it cleaner. It's really up to you. And then you could choose the format of the report you want to see. So I like to choose CSV file. Once you select that, you will see that it pops up right here. You can open it. From there, you could definitely highlight everything to make sure that you could read all your fields to see what you have here. And then you could make a simple pivot table and look at the data the way you need to. So, that is our next option, reporting option in DFP, and most likely the most common one that you'll be using. And that's DFP reporting. Now let's take a look at DFA reporting. DFA, also known as DCM, is a third-party reporting system. You will pull reports from here if your client sent you DFA DCM tag. This also means that this is the client's ad server, so they're able to view the same data and what you'll be billing and invoicing off of in most cases. Once you're in DFA, you'll have several options to pull a report. They all accomplish the same thing, it just depends on how you would like to view it. It's a standard reporting platform. So as you could see, there are different metrics and dimensions that you can pull based on what you're looking for. So here we're in DFA, and as you could see, I'm gonna wanna look to pull a Pop-Tart report. So we're already in our Kellogg's reporting within here. As you can see, it's grayed out. So I want to go into then a new report. You're going to always click the standard basic report. So once that loads in, you can first title your report. So we'll say Pop-Tarts. And you can make this as specific as you want it. It's honestly for your own purposes. And then I'm going to keep the file type CSV, and I'm going to change the date to previous quarter since we were looking at Q1 before. Now, just to note, you'll always leave this advertiser filter here, so that way you could choose now the campaign you're looking to choose from, and it could be as many as you want. So it could be all these campaigns, whatever you need to look at. All right, so we got Pop-Tart selected. Another thing to note with with Kellogg's as a whole is that they only bill on U.S. delivery. So anything delivered outside the U.S. we cannot bill an invoice. So here, just so we can keep it aligned, we will want to filter out the country and we'll just include U.S. only. Now we'll go to our dimensions. And honestly, there's so much that you could choose from here. So really, I can't stress it enough. Whatever you're really looking for, it will be here. For this situation specifically, we're just going to want campaign, placement, and if you want to go more granular than that and not as just an aggregate, you can choose date as well. So you can look at daily delivery. And then when we go to our metrics, we're going to want impressions and clicks. I'm going to X out of the rest of all of this. Again, if you need it, you can keep it, you can add whatever it is that you want. Like as you could see, there's all these options. So quite a bit that you can choose from. And then if you wanted to schedule this, you just can click active. You could choose how often, how many days a week you want it. You could choose a start and end date for how you want it to come. And then here, instead of email owner, you don't want it to email to the reporting at Cargo. You want to include your email address down here. And then you would click add. And then after you add it, you first hit save. So that way you save your report and then you run now. So it runs. That is how you pull a DFA report in the report builder tab. Again, there's other ways to pull a report. So you're always able to go into summary. And as you can see, here's your different options of how you can look at this summary data. So here you have your advertiser, the campaign, which is the 2017 Q1 campaign. You'll hit done. And then once you have that, you'll want to make sure you have selected the correct date range. Again, as I've mentioned previously, we're going to select all of Q1. So that's January 1st to March 31st. And then once that's good, you'll want to be sure that you hit the apply button so that way it loads the correct time frame. And then you can see like an aggregate of how many impressions have ran altogether for this time frame for the campaign, as well as how many clicks there have been and what the click-through rate is. If you want to get a little more granular, you can type in using any of these dimensions. So I'm going to choose placement, and placement for DCM DFA is the same as line item in DFP. And obviously you're going to see your third-party tag name, not your DFP line item. So that's one option. You could check this out as an hourly overview. So that way you could see if this campaign maybe is ending soon. You can see how many impressions are serving per hour, so you can judge delivery. And you can kind of do the same thing. You can always add in placement and see it by that granularity as well there too. And then if you wanted to also choose location, you can see it by location. I honestly never really use that, but it's always an option for you as well. And that's DFA reporting. Now let's take a look at Seismic's reporting platform. So first, once you log into Seismic, you'll want to make sure you go to the top, click on Campaign Management, and select the Analytics Classic. You will always want to do this. So from there, you can check your saved reports. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and pull a report. So we're going to go into this, hit this Publisher Reports tab, and we're going to go to Delivery Analysis. And then from there, we can select our campaign. So for this, we're going to select our Royal Canin campaign. So this is Q2 2017. Once you select that, you'll always leave this format at Excel. To note, data level must be at placement if you want to look at the placement level, which you'll always want to do. Then you have the choice if you want to look at this report. So I usually select totals, but sometimes I do select days. It's really how you want to view it and what you're looking at. So you may have to choose days, but let's just choose totals for now. And then the other thing is we want to select our date range. So for this campaign, this is monthly. So with that said, I'm going to make it custom, and we're just going to select April. So this is going to select all of April. And just to note, Seismic doesn't pull reporting for today. It's actually through yesterday. And then once you have that selected, you can go down to here and click Run Report. After it generates, just real quick, just want to note this at the bottom. You can go back and edit this report if you need. You can also schedule this report so it is sent to you. So if we were to do that, it would just be at the bottom, and you can select how often you want to receive it. And then you can select the date range that you want to receive the report. Once you do that, you want to make sure that you click on the send this email to the following recipients, and then add your email in there. Once you have added your email, you can just click save. It will add the name of the campaign, and you'll run report. So once you run the report, you're going to open it, and you'll notice that it looks like an empty report minus this line of data. So what you'll do is you'll always see these tab numbers here at this on the left hand side. So you'll click the furthest one, so 4. And unfortunately, Seismic's reports are not the prettiest. So you will notice that there are a lot of empty columns. You just want to delete, especially what you don't need. So you don't need order impressions either. So I'll just delete all of that. You just want to know what the served impressions were, the total clicks. And if you want to see CTR, you can. I usually just want placement name, impressions, and clicks. So then once you have that, you can do whatever you need to do with your data. And that is how to pull a Seismic report. The last reporting platform that we will look at is Flashtalking. So once we're logged into Flashtalking's reporting platform, we'll need to come to this button, Create Report. Once you click on there, you'll see you have to fill in all the blanks. So the title of this report could be anything you want. Usually I just like to make it relevant to what I'm pulling. So we can title this US Cell Report Delivery Report. All right, great. So now you have the option to choose the report type. So this could be either summary or daily. We won't use transaction. So again, whatever you need to see is how you want to pull this. We'll just do an aggregate summary report for now. And then you could choose the file type, CSV or Excel. It just depends how you like to view it and whichever is easier for you to pull. So we'll keep it as a CSV. Next, we want to select the date range. So again, this is really what I've been saying the whole time. This is important that you select the correct date range that you're looking to view so it aligns properly. So we could do the last 30 days, make it easy. Once you have that selected, you want to come down to the advertisers. And for this campaign, since it's US Cellular, we're going to want to select Starcom. So you can just start typing in. You'll see it says US Cell here. Check that box. And then once you have that selected, you want to make sure you select the right campaign. For this, we only have one campaign this year so far. So we'll just want to check that box off. And then you want to go to your filters. For filters, you're always going to need to come in and select cargo. So that way everything cargo is included. And then after you select that, we'll come to our columns and grouping. And we'll first go into level. When we're in level, you have all these options you can select. We're just going to stick with the placement. So we could look at the data at the placement level. And what data do we want to look at? We want to make sure we include our impressions delivered. Even though you have all these options, we're just going to stick with impressions delivered to date. And then we're also going to choose our clicks. So once you have your column and grouping section completed, you're going to want to go down here to scheduling. So you can schedule this report as often as you would like to receive it. We'll just keep it at daily. And then starting this report would be coming through tomorrow. And you can select when to end this report to come through as well. We'll keep it at the 31st of July. And then to make sure this report is scheduled, you always want to make sure this toggle is moved over to active. Once it's at active, make sure you include your email address and any party's email address on here that is sent to directly. So once that's included there, you want to click the Save button down below to ensure that it was saved, the scheduled report was saved, and you'll know that it was saved by the date. In order to generate this report, you can come to your right and just click Generate, and then Run Now. And that is how to pull a report in Flashtalking.